Man wrote this word that we're reading in the New Testament. They say man wrote this, right? Which man did through the Holy Spirit of the Most High. But look at Acts 26th chapter and look at what Paul is giving a confession of. Verse 9. I verily thought with myself, as he was Saul, that I ought to do many things contrary to Bahasham or Mashiach Yahushai of Nazareth. You see? When he was Saul, he was doing things contrary, as I just said. He said, which thing I also did in Jerusalem. And many of the saints who are the children of Israel did I shut up in prison, having received authority from the chief priests. Remember, rebellious people that are against their own people. And when they were put to death, I gave my voice against them. See? Injuries. When they were put to death, he gave his voice against them. And I punished them oft in every synagogue, and compelled them to blaspheme. And being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities. Because see, when you understand, he had Acts. When you go to Acts the 9th chapter, look, go back to Acts the 9th chapter. Verse 1. This is what he's giving an analysis. When you read the whole thing, this is what he's giving you analysis of when you go into Acts 26th chapter. Acts 9:1. And Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Most High, of the Mashiach Yahushua, went into the high priest. He went to the high priest. Slaughter, threatenings and slaughter against the disciples. You hear this? And desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way that was believing on Bahasham Mashiach Yahushua, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. See? Now go to Acts 26 chapter. He's giving an explanation. Same thing that he's given before Agrippa. Acts 26 and 9. I verily thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the Bahasham Mashiach Yahushua of Nazareth, which thing I also did in Jerusalem. And many of the saints that I shut up in prison, having received authority from the chief priests. He asked for that authority. And when they were put to death, people, I gave my voice against them. He spoke against them to have them put to death. And I punished them oft in every synagogue. Hear that? This is what Saul did. And compelled them to blaspheme. And being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even unto strange cities. Whereupon, as I went to Damascus with authority and commission from the chief priests, at midday, O king, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun. Read it again. At midday, O king, Agrippa, I saw in the way a light from heaven, above the brightness of the sun, brighter than the sun, sir, shining round about me, and them which journeyed with me. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking to me and saying in the English language, in the Spanish language, in the German language, in the Russian language, in the French language? No, in the Hebrew tongue. For all you to say he spoke Syrian or whatever language he's trying to say, He spoke in the Hebrew tongue, not any other language. See? Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the prick. So when you persecute the Israelites, you persecute Mashiach Yahushua, who's coming to judge and make war. So what you think, he'll come and give you rose petals and give you love and happiness and joy? When he's telling Saul, who is an Israelite, of the tribe of Benjamin, of the seed of Abraham, that was persecuting us, putting us to death, had his voice in putting us to death, as Esau is today. You're going to receive love of Mashiach Yahushua and said, hey, it's hard for you to kick his prince. Why persecutest thou me? You persecuting Mashiach Yahushua. So, and I said, who art thou, Master? And he said, I am Mashiach Yahushua, whom thou persecute. See? Who is he persecuting? The children of Israel. What did Mashiach Yahushua say? You persecute me. That's why when you go back, the reason why I went there to show you that light brighter than the sun, right? That's why I look at it. John 10 and 30 says, I and my Father are one. So when you look at going into Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, 23rd chapter, I believe, and verse 29. Listen. When we said brighter than the sun, right? That light was brighter than the sun. You know, you can't even look at the sun will blind you. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth that not that the eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. So that's when you're looking at this light. So now we're going to Matthew 17 chapter, and we see that in verse 2 it says, and was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. He was transfigured before them. And behold, there appeared unto him Moses and Elijah talking with him. Then answered Peter and said unto Mashiach Yahushua, Master, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt let us make here 3 tabernacles, 3 tents, one for thee, one for you, Mashiach, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. See? That voice they heard out of the chariot. Matthew 17 and 6. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were so afraid. As I said earlier, if a spirit came down here, they heard that voice. And when they heard it, they were so afraid. Who is this? This is the Spirit speaking to them. So this is my beloved Son. This is Mashiach Yahushua. This is my beloved Son. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, verse 6, they fell on their face. Flat line, straight down on the face. And were so afraid. They became afraid. And the Mashiach Yahushua came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. See? And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save the Mashiach Yahushua only. They on the ground, scared to death, trembling, so afraid. And he told them, hey, don't be afraid. And as they came down from the mountain, the Mashiach charged them, saying, tell the vision to no man until the Son of Man be risen again from the dead. To the third day I'm going to rise from the dead. That's what I say. The disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elijah must first come? And Mashiach answered, listen, and said unto them, Elijah truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elijah is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. See? It's Elijah, the spirit of Elijah. When you understand, not Elijah in the flesh, but the same spirit of Elijah would come. He said, then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. That's why people that don't see this, don't see that the spirit of regeneration and reincarnation happens, they don't believe in the Mashiach Yahushua. How you believe in him when he just told you? Well, maybe you need to hear him say it. Go to the disciples understood that he spoke of John the Baptist, but to go to Matthew 11:11. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. Talking about John the Baptist. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven, which is the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, suffereth violence. Who was suffering violence? During the time of Mashiach Yahushua, and the violent, what are you talking about the violent? The violent people. Who swept out of earth? The Romans, so-called Italian Caucasians. Take it by force. Taking the Israelites by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. Because you look at Malachi, that's the last prophet of the Old Testament, then who comes into being after Malachi? John the Baptist. He came before. He was there to lead the way to Israel to repent until the Mashiach Yahushua came. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if you will receive it, this is Elijah, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Remember, everybody, Messiah made people that they hear, but they don't understand. They don't understand. They see, but they don't see what they see with understanding. They don't perceive what they're seeing. That's why he said, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Because the Sadducees didn't believe in reincarnation. They didn't believe in regeneration. They didn't believe that John the Baptist would be the spirit of Elijah, right? But Mashiach Yahushua knew that. But John the Baptist didn't know himself. They asked him, are you Elijah? He said, I know. You understand? He didn't know. Because it tells you, go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, first chapter. It's right after Proverbs. You got Psalms, Proverbs, and you have Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 1:9. So the thing that have been is that which shall be. So whatever has been in the past is that's what's going to be in the future. And that which is done is that which shall be done. That which is done is something that's going to be done, shall mean in the future. Something that's going to be done in the future. And there is no new thing under the sun. See? Is there anything where it may be said, see, this is new, brand new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things. There it is. See, there is no remembrance of former things. Neither shall there be any remembrance, that's in your mind, of things that are to come with those that shall come after. See? That's why you look at a perfect example is that they knew about regeneration, because you look at John the 9th chapter. I just want to touch on a little bit. John the 9th chapter in the first verse. And as Mashiach passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. So this man was blind when he came out of his mother's womb. Okay? And the disciples asked him, saying, Master, because Mashiach would know, who did sin? Who transgressed the laws of the Most High? This man? How this man? Now come on, y'all tell me how this man sinned. When he was born blind from his mother's womb, he sinned in the womb, being created to be a baby. When could he sin? They asked him, who did sin? This man was born blind. So when did he sin? He was born blind. Who did sin? This man or his parents, that he was born blind? Mashiach answered, neither has this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of the Most High should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me, who is the Most High, while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. See? And when he had thus had spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle. And he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay. And he said unto him, go wash in the pool of Siloam, which is by the interpretation sent. He went his way therefore and washed and came seeing. He was able to see. That's why he was born blind. But they asked, the point I'm here to show you, they asked him who did sin. So when could this man sin? It could have been in this lifetime because he was born blind. How he sinned to be born blind? He had to sin in another lifetime. But Mashiach would know. That's why he knew that John the Baptist was the spirit of Elijah. And Mashiach know that. But he just told you there's no remembrance of former things. You won't remember who you were or who this person is or whatever. No way, shape, or form. Unless you're the spirit of Mashiach, and that's already, he's on the right hand side of the Most High. It's not here. He's wherever we at, whenever we are, 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he's in the midst thereof. But that's everywhere in the world. His spirit is there. That's Matthew 18 and 20. Say, for what 2? Matthew 18 and 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, there am I in the midst of them. See? Where 2 or 3 are gathered together by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, as we always start with Colossians 3:17. There am I in the midst of them. See? And that's everywhere. That's the spirit of a Mashiach Yahushua. Would you say, I will not leave you comfortless, I will come to you. Through the Holy Spirit that's going to testify of him, and we testify of the Most High. That order of things. Do y'all have any questions? Yeah.
You know when we praying, when you said Mayaka Allah, Waya, Michael, Uriel, I know the angels' names, but when you say something, you say Shalach or send, Michael Allah, you say something after that.
I mean, what we're dealing with here, we talk about that.
Okay, so
yeah, we talk about that. We're just saying, what we're going over.
Kind of so.
Okay, we can deal with that. That kind of like changing the subject. So I don't know where the conference call is. Because last time they didn't tell me that they were when we had so much time.
Conversation mode is on. Everyone can now be heard. Questions?
Yes.